Hey, what is up? I haven't posted anything in a long time simply because there was nothing to post. In the end of February 2019, almost a year ago, I wrote this. You see, looking forward to the new biking season pretty soon. Yeah, a year or so is pretty soon, like a couple of days. To tell the truth, I was sure all these problems I had were not too serious, were not too severe. I could walk, I could run, and I couldn't believe I cannot ride a bike in a short period of time. And then, only in fall, a year after my accident, I realized this cannot be fast. So I almost stopped posting anything simply because there was nothing to post. Now I can speak almost normally, and I wanna tell you about this hopefully final stage of this long recovery. It's been way too long. If you don't know who I am and what happened to me, here comes the video. As you can see, I was lying unconscious. It was a coma caused by diffuse axonal brain injury, a notorious injury, also known as Schumacher's injury. It's often considered to be a death sentence. 90% of the people simply die of it, and many of the others remain disabled. Well, first of all, I want to talk about real consequences of these injuries, because almost no one knows about them. Everyone just saying, oh, such an injury, without actually knowing what is up. People know about Schumacher, who is bad. Well, he is old. That is why he is so bad. Some people know about Julius Bianchi, who died. And some people have friends who maybe survived the same thing. And their results are usually also pretty bad. So bad. Everything is so bad. So, what are the real consequences? Well, the first problem you can face here is the lack of many of your neuromuscular junctions, if you know what I mean, especially on your bad side. So if you hurt the left side of your brain, is the right side of your body like mine. If you hurt the right side of your brain, it's the left side. What does it all mean? Well, it's like you do have muscles, they're alright, but this nerve impulse from your brain to these muscles is either bad or too slow, or sometimes there is no impulse at all. And in the end, you cannot tense or release these muscles under control. They are unfunctional. You cannot use them properly. And actually, this is why people can't walk after these injuries. This is why their speech becomes so much worse. Maybe you remember these videos. Yes, your speech is also formed by your muscles. Your tongue, your cheeks, your lips are all muscles, and if they can't move normally, if they are too weak or too slow, or can't work well altogether, your speech will definitely be bad. Although I think I'll film a separate video about recreating your speech because it's another long talk. Maybe some of you think you should just wait and everything will become fine, but it will not. Your neuromuscular junctions cannot recreate by themselves if you are doing nothing. So, what should you do if you lack these junctions? Probably you should recreate them. And how to do it? I would say traditional exercises used for this were ineffective in my case. Well, maybe they were good in the very beginning, but then they became almost useless. And the best thing to do was so-called isometric exercises, and I learned about them just occasionally. It was in the first days of November 2019. I went for a little hike with a friend of mine, was actually a big fan of Russian strongman Victor Blut, who tries to be as old school as he can. So this guy always carried some 6 and 8-inch nails with him, for bending them with his hands, just like Victor Blut does. So as it started raining and we had a tent, he suggested me bending some nails just for fun. I said why not, we started. Of course I could do it where I was there now, but just half an hour later my right hand started feeling much better. It became faster, more sensitive, just more like a normal hand. So I carried on, and as I came home I went to the shop to buy some nails for myself. I also found some steel bars here at home and started bending them like this. And again, just half an hour later, my right chest muscle finally switched on. It was like that, totally functional for 13 months. I couldn't even tense it. And that time, just half an hour, and it started working again. And as my chest started working, this meant I could bench press in a gym. And I started. I should say I've always kind of sucked in bench pressing, especially compared to squats and deadlifts. Well, I'm a bike rider first of all, so this is kind of logical. And now my bench press results are already better than ever. I can easily press these 70 kilos 10 times, just like I used to do, and a couple of days ago I pressed 75 kilos 9 times, and this was my all-time record. Well, seeing these results, of course I wanted to learn more about muscles, about how they're working, about different exercises, and I started working on those muscles that were problematic. So the key for these exercises is that your muscles should tense a lot, but they shouldn't change their length. That is why the exercises are called isometric. So bending something unbendable, tearing something untearable, breaking something unbreakable is a good thing for sure. Actually, I'm surprised these exercises are not used in medicine and rehabilitation with people after strokes, head or spinal injuries. I would recommend this to anyone who has problems with their muscles. And these exercises are pretty old, older than 100 years already. They were invented in Russia, by the way. The first man who started using them in his training process was Alexander Zas, and then many other Russian strongmen of the past used them as well. Well, maybe you remember some of these power tricks, bending nails, horseshoes, and other metal stuff. Many of these people didn't have much muscles, but the actual muscles were very effective, thanks to improved neuromuscular junctions. Of course, thus you should say your strength is not in muscles, it's in ligaments. I think he just couldn't know about neuromuscular junctions in his time. That's why he tried to explain this with ligaments. Although some research can prove your ligaments also become thicker and stronger after these exercises, which can prevent injuries, for example. So if you have a risk of crashes and injuries, I think you should definitely include these exercises in your training process. These exercises are suitable for everyone. They are good, for example, for the girls who maybe wish to become stronger, but they are often afraid of gaining muscles. By the way, Bruce Lee used these exercises recovering after his spinal injury back in 1970, and only after that he had his biggest film roles and actually became world famous. I should also say these exercises don't require any special or expensive stuff. You can buy anything you need in any shop. Chains, ropes, nails, steel bars, this all is cheap and this can help you a lot. Use this no matter if you have problems or if you don't. I think I should also say about dizziness. Now it's almost completely gone, but there is still a little. This is not like classic vestibular vertigos. Nothing seems to be spinning around you here. It's more like a feeling of instability while you're walking or doing something else active. It's pretty hard to explain. You probably never experienced this shit before. I never experienced this shit in my life before this injury. Of course I tried some pills. I tried Benderoni, Vertigo Heal, and it didn't help at all. The things that already helped a lot were acupunctures and vestibular exercises by Dr. Alexei Borisov, whom I saw on YouTube, and I wrote him on Instagram. He didn't know me, but he listened to me carefully and gave me some good recommendations and advices for absolutely free. And that is why I want to show him some respect and say huge thanks again. As for the acupuncturists, they also came to my life occasionally. In September, I went to a Scandinavian health center in Moscow, again with dizziness. And the neurologist there advised me to try acupunctures. They had a specialist right there in the center, and I tried. I didn't expect anything, but just a couple of days later, I started feeling better. But then maybe 10 procedures later, this doctor told me to come only in 2020, and it was only October. I didn't want to lose much time, and I went to a Chinese clinic in Moscow called Tao. They have Chinese doctors from China who don't speak neither Russian nor English. You should use an interpreter to talk to them. So Dr. Yu Kun, this is his name, looked at my brain MRI and said that considering my age, they can recreate everything 100%, including my dizziness and right side problems, using only their needles. And it started working. But of course, I didn't want to use only their needles, so I went on with isometric vestibular exercises, gym and trampolines. I think I'll need some more acupuncture before everything is alright. Chinese medicine principles differ a lot from European, but they are working. I think I should also say about some people who wrote me some shit like, "Oh, don't even think about riding bikes anymore. The God showed you everything. The God showed you everything." The God showed me everything. Are you alright, guys? What the fuck are you talking about? Well, obviously these people don't know me at all, but they think they can give me their precious advices. My life priorities have always been quite different. For example, I can remember a case with C.T. Fletcher. I hope you all know who he is. This happened before his heart transplantation, and he already had some huge problems with his heart. That time CT went to some competition and he wanted to bench press, I think 320 kilos, some huge weight. And there was a doctor there who told him like, "Bro, if you try this, you can try right here, right now." In CT said, "Fuck this shit, I would better try right here, right now, doing what I love to do." And he went and did it. So for me, this might be a good example about how man can see his life and everything around him. And you can stick your fucking precious advices up your ass. My case with the diffuse axonal brain injury riding a bike was the first and probably only in the history of mountain biking. At least I don't know anyone else who had it. And do you think I have a big chance of owning the second case as well? I think this chance is not too big. Of course, I never wanted to be a hero of such an injury story. I never thought about it, but since I already got it, I can at least show some people who'll get it in the future a good example. I hope no one gets it riding a bike again, but unfortunately, car wrecks and other bad things will definitely happen. And maybe these people who get it will know about this story as well. Maybe they will know there was a man who could not only fully recover after this, but who could take part in the biggest mountain biking events after this shit. And if this story can help at least one man, I think it's totally worth it. And maybe he'll think, well, if this guy could do it, why cannot I? Well, I think that is it. If you want to know what comes next, you can subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, push the like button and leave me a comment down here. If you don't like the video, push the dislike button and write me what a faggot I am or anything else. Just all you want as always. Wishing every one of you the best of luck and hopefully see you soon. Bye.